All right, we're going to start the recording, and let me try one more
It's still
thing.
working, honey. Bye-bye.
Quick question, Dawn, are you going to strip this into a podcast?
It's not. We don't have a plan to put it into a podcast. It will be on our Facebook page and our group,
Okay.
but it is going to be saved, so there can very well be a time where it will become a podcast.
Okay. Just checking.
It's a great idea. All right. I'm just getting things set up on the live stream. Give me 1 second. Hopefully this will work for us. We're going to try to stream it through the actual public page that we have, Tampa Bay Real Producers, if it works.
Good morning, Lori. Hey, Lori.
All right. Let me just type this in. Live with Jodi, Avery, Angela, Duncan, Avery, Tillung, Iris Green. All right, sorry guys. All right. All right, I think we're good. It's telling me it's working, so we'll see how that flows. But welcome everybody. Don Hill here with Tampa Bay Real Producers. I have the honor and the privilege of being able to host today's panel of experts series with 4 absolute rock star panelists that I can't wait to introduce in just a minute. We have some real women power on the panel today. You know, four strong female leaders in the real estate community here in Tampa Bay. So excited to have them joining us here today, and we'll be hearing from them in just a few minutes. As you guys may or may not know, Tampa Bay Real Producers is a platform that features the top 500 real estate agents in the Tampa Bay market. Tampa Bay meaning Hillsborough and Pinellas County. We also, of course, work with many of the brokers in the area. And some of the people that have been on our that are going to be on this panel have already been featured in various sections in our monthly magazine, and you know, have been on our social media channels as well. So excited to have you here. Everything that we do is, of course, really brought to us from our wonderful sponsors that make this possible, because without them, we wouldn't even be able to create the magazine, as well as anything else that we do from an event perspective. So we're going to take just a minute, and I'm going to introduce some of those sponsors that make it possible for us to do this monthly panel, and let them say hello, and then we will dive right into to our 4 rockstar panelists. So let me first introduce, let's see, from the home team, I see Margot Ackerman looking wonderful there in that beautiful business suit that you have on. Good to see you this morning, Margot. Why don't I go ahead and unmute you, and you can say hello to everybody.
Thank you, John. Good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to be one of the sponsors for this phenomenal organization and to be able to support Don in this endeavor. Home Team Inspection Service, 26 years, 41,000 inspections in Hillsborough, Pasco, and Pinellas County. We use a unique team approach that is in a normal size of home. It only takes us 1 hour to do an inspection, while you know normally it takes 2 to 4 hours. And you get an inspection and you get time back. Home team inspection service. We are fast, we are trusted, we are accurate. We also enjoy giving back. It's part of the home team culture. Where we can identify offices that have corporate or local charities, we are more than willing to participate with them both in time and our money. 2 charities that we are currently participating with are KW Cares, and that affects all the Keller Williams offices, and the Duncan Foundation. Both of these are examples of charities which we participate, and we look forward to adding more charities to this as our list grows. So as a parting word, I'd just like to say, as we move forward, may our journey be positive and rewarding, because there's always going to be real estate. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Margot. And we're going to talk about some different charities that these ladies are a part of here in just a few minutes. So hopefully that'll be helpful towards your intent and mission. I appreciate your sponsorship and your support. Let me introduce to you Lori LaCoppola with Celebration Title. Good to see you this morning, Lori. How are you?
Good morning. I am amazing this morning. Thanks for having me. I always love being a part of Tampa Bay Real Producers, so it's always an honor to be a sponsor. So I am with Celebration Title Group. We believe that every closing should be celebrated, and that's what we do with our amazing confetti cannons. If you haven't been to one of our closings, it's definitely a sight to see, and everybody loves it. We do have some great things going on right now. To offer for our clients. We have $100 off of any refi. And then we also have, we are waiving the title fee for any healthcare workers or first responders. So we are doing that just to give back to them and show our appreciation. So we're very honored to do that. You know, I'm here always, right? We have 11 offices between Tampa, Orlando, Daytona, and St. Pete. So we hope that you will come celebrate with us. I will be here for any questions.
Thank you, Lori. Good stuff. Celebration has been a great sponsor of our program here in a couple of markets, actually, Orlando, Tampa Bay. And I think according to Amanda, they were looking at some other markets as well. So excited to have you guys here. Let me introduce you to one of our another one of our partners who actually sponsors our platform in numerous markets across the country, Jessica Sherrill. Good morning, Jessica. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing? How's everybody doing?
I think we're doing well. I think we're doing great. Jessica's with the home team at Freedom Mortgage. Go ahead and say hello, Jess.
Hi guys, happy Thursday to all of you out there, and thank you so much to Tampa Bay Real Producers for providing this platform so we can talk about important things, especially helping the community. And I cannot wait to hear from these women that are powerhouse in our community. So excited about that. Obviously, we're a mortgage lender, one of the top 10 lenders in the country. We specialize across all facets of lending, especially helping those that serve our country. So we love our veterans. And, you know, piggyback off of this particular subject, the home team of Freedom Mortgage is helping our local communities by, we'll pick a local charity to donate a portion of the proceeds from each loan. We close in upwards of 400 loans a month, and you know, raising upwards into like maybe $30,000 to donate towards a local charity. So we're really excited about that opportunity to give back. So you know, if anyone has any feedback on any kind of local charities across the state of Florida, we can't wait to serve.
Good stuff, Jess. Thank you. Again, we're going to be talking a lot about that today. So it's good that you guys came to the table ready to learn about some charities. So that's definitely one of the topics that we'll be diving into in just a minute. And my understanding is that all 4 of our panelists do a lot with various local organizations. So we'll try to spotlight all of them if we can in just a few minutes. Let me also introduce you to Diana Harvey with Van Dyke. And Van Dyke, again, another one of our partners that has been with us in numerous markets. They support us in Orlando as well as Tampa Bay, and I believe in a couple other markets as well across the country. Diana, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to be here today. And I'm almost embarrassed to say that I'm actually starting to embrace some of the new ways that we're doing things. Getting used to this Zoom type of stuff. It's great. It's great. I'm Diana Harvey. I am a mortgage loan originator and mortgage advocate for Van Dyke Mortgage. Most of you know that Van Dyke Mortgage is a local lender. Our underwriting and processing department is right here in the Feather Sound area. And that's so important to me as a loan officer because they understand the needs of our community. You know, everything from first-time homebuyers programs and down payment assistance to the unique condos that we have here in the Florida market. And because of that, they also understand when me as a loan officer, when I go to them and say, hey, I am really involved with this charity and I would like to get the support of Van Dyke, they are all on board with helping me do those things. A couple of my favorites right now happen to be the food pantries because there is so many people in need right now, so very many. And then one of the other ones I'm really involved with is helping the children get out of the foster care system. So that's just a couple that we're involved in and looking to get into more. And I am so very excited to hear from this great panel of experts, these power women that have done so much for our community. Can't wait to hear what they have to say. Thank you for your time today. Look forward to hearing from everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Diana. And thanks again for the support for the whole organization actually over there with Van Dyke. John Jones, I believe, is joining us as well today. So hopefully he's doing well. Quick little shout out to John out there in the world of mortgage lending. And I also just wanted to quickly throw out there Vic DeVore with DeVore Design, Phil Yost with Compass Title, as well as DJ Rondu with Beta Bay Lending. Are also proud sponsors of what we're doing with our monthly Panel of Experts series. So not all of them could join us this morning, but God bless them. I hope they're doing well. And let's go ahead and dive right in. I am going to spotlight our four panelists. So if you are a vendor, you might get kicked to the attendee role. Say bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. Can't wait.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, Jess. Okay, Diana. Bye-bye.
See y'all later.
All right. All right, guys. So I have the pleasure of introducing to you our four panelists here this morning. And first off, I want to introduce Jodi Avery. I've gotten to know Jodi over a couple of our events so far with Tampa Bay Real Producers. And probably I'm preaching to the choir in a way. I'm sure most of you, if not all of you who are joining us here in the audience, know these four ladies well. Their brands are very well known in the Tampa Bay market. But Jodi is a top 100, been featured in the top 100 for Top 100 magazine, ranked among one of the top 1% of all realtors for her innovative business practices. One of the things that we wanted to try to keep in mind was we invited four people that we knew had powerhouse brands in specific markets. All four of these ladies, work all over Tampa Bay, but they also have, roots in given, hyper niche communities and localized focuses. And so Jodi is somebody who does a lot of her work in the Palm Harbor area. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe lives in the Palm Harbor area as well. And she was a number one individual real estate agent for, so many years in a row. It would take me forever to list it. She was awarded a Humanitarian of the Year from Florida Realtor Magazine. Tampa Bay Business Journal called her the Real Estate Businesswoman of the Year in 2016. She's a member of the Working Woman of Tampa Bay and the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce, president of the Make Kindness Count movement, which is awesome. And one of the things I was always impressed with that I saw was Jodi's A-list book, which he must have taken a lot of time to put all that together. But it's a list of local businesses that she supports and that she believes holds the same sort of common values that Jodi has in her business. So personally, she has four wonderful children: Hunter, Victoria, Elizabeth, and Lily. And she leads a very, very active and passionate life in the community. So Jodi, thank you again for being here. If you can hear the round of applause that the audience has, I'm sure they're all
honored to be here. Thank you.
As we speak. Let me introduce to you our next panelist here, none other than Iris Green. And we asked Iris to join us today as somebody who has built a great brand, especially in like the Brandon and Valrico area, over on like the east side, we'd call it, right, of Tampa Bay. Iris is a top producing agent, of course, within the Keller Williams brokerage. She's been consistently in the top 500 group year upon year. She's a wife of a recently retired soldier and a mother of 2 daughters. She really, over the years, I'm assuming this is due to your experience dealing in a military family, but has had extensive experience in the relocation process for many business, professional, as well as personal changes. Iris founded the Military Home Base, which is a free real estate concierge service providing a seamless transition from selling the current home to finding new ones and saving people thousands of dollars. She also co-founded the Military Women's Conference, bringing female veterans, military spouses, and mothers of service members together for a one-of-a-kind experience. So we always appreciate our veterans, Iris, and appreciate all the work that you've done with the veteran community. And we thank you, of course, for joining us here today. So give it up for Iris Green. And
Thank you.
Again, people are going nuts for you, as we know. Let me go ahead and introduce to you as well another one of our powerhouse panelists, and that's none other than Terry Tillung. Good morning, Terry. Good to have you join us today. Terry, again, another one who works all over Tampa Bay and has built a great brand for herself, but really has specialized in like that Clearwater Gulf area. I believe, again, lives over in that area. And, please correct me if I'm wrong with anything that I say here, which won't be the first time. Terry obviously has built a great brand within the Colwell banker field of business. She's been a licensed agent since 1996 in the Tampa Bay area. She's built a great marketing program where one of the questions we'll touch on in a minute here will be about people's marketing philosophies. And she calls it her perfect storm marketing plan, which is, I thought, pretty fascinating. So we'll talk about that a little bit. She's a global luxury property specialist. If you go to Terry's website, you'll see some beautiful property. I was checking it out this week. And I believe with her son partnered together to create a great brand over there in the Clearwater area. Terry is a wife and a mother and enjoys spending her time with her friends, family, hiking, doing yoga, probably on the beach, I would imagine, boating. Terry is also actively involved in the Habitat for Humanity program, which we'll touch on today, and supports many other charities, organizations, and events. So thank you again, Terry, for being here today, and welcome to the panel.
Thank you, Don, and everybody. I'm honored.
All right, and our last panelist, but certainly not least, is one half, she would say, of the dynamic Duncan duo. Angela Duncan is joining us here today. Has built a great brand with her husband Andrew in the Remax in the Remax brand. They're one of the top Remax teams in the country. Over $1.5 billion in real estate they've done as the Duncan duo. Recognized by Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing teams in the nation. Top 25 on Real Trends annual rankings nationally. A top 5 team within National Remax and the #1 team in the state of Florida. They are the official real estate agents of the Tampa Bay Lightning, which is always something we don't want to forget to mention. And Angela has spent a lot of her time building the business with Andrew as part of the Duncan duo. And now also, because she had all this free time on her hands, decided to open up an insurance company as well called We Insure the Bay. And one of the things that I really that stood out to me about Angela's focus on the insurance side too has been their commitment to the local Tampa Bay community. She's done all kinds of things. So, as an active volunteer within the Tampa Bay Metro YMCA, Hands Across the Bay, Metropolitan Ministries, the Housing Education Alliance. Her and her husband Andrew established the Duncan Duo Foundation, which is a 501c3 to provide, funds to a lot of different local charities in the Tampa Bay market. And one of the things that stood out to me too was Angela's hashtag, which is Give Where You Live. So that's why we wanted to have her on our panel today as well. So Thank you again, ladies. Let's dive right into our topics and our questions. Excited to hear each one of your insights. And I know that we are all appreciative of you being able to carve out this time. So, okay. So what we usually do when we start this panel process is to take a minute to at least allow each panelist to just give us a little bit of a brief recap on you know, where you got, how you got to where you are today. So kind of walk us through a little bit of your career process. We don't have to spend, we can definitely spend our entire time together on this one question if we really want to get very detailed about it, but let's keep it short to about 60 seconds to a minute or two on just a brief layout for somebody who might not be completely aware of you know, your story and your backstory and how you got to where you are today. And that will lead us in, by the way, to our second question, which will be about why has it become important for you to have a brand that is making an impact, you know, locally and finding a way to impact your local community. So we'll start with Jodi. I'm just going to kind of hop around based on the order that I see you here on my screen. So Jodi, let's start with you. A little bit of a recap of your story.
Actually, I've been a real estate agent for 25 years, but I actually did not use it until about 10 years ago. I got divorced and I had 4 small children, and my kids went to school at 7, 8, and 9, and I had to pick them up at 2, 3, and 4. So I was trying to find a career. What kind of career can I have that has flexible hours, unlimited income, and a quality of life where I can lead it and do what I need to do? So real estate is what I dove into roughly about 10 years ago as my own individual agent. It was the first time of me actually doing real estate. And in my first month, I was the top 5 in my office. So I dove in. I was very good with time management. That was one of my skill sets. And I think homeschooling 4 kids taught me some really great qualities that has helped me in real estate. And since then, I've just had a passion to help people, care about people, and have fun along the journey of real estate. I think all of us have so many fun and exciting stories, but I have so much fun in what I do. I love it. It's a passion. And then I try to bring that to my team. So I'm just honored. Also, I have to say, I'm so honored to be with Terry and Iris and Angela. I feel like I shouldn't be here because you guys are amazing and I love doing business with all of you. So it is an honor to be here.
Well, you definitely belong, Jodi. So don't play that humble card with me, okay? But you definitely have built a great organization and a great business. Thank you for your story there. Let's switch over to Terry here for a second. And Terry, why don't you give us a little bit of your background as well, please?
Good morning, and thank you. So I started my real estate career while I was working for American Airlines and raising children and having a husband who was traveling in 1996. And selfishly, I got into real estate because I wanted to make more money. And then 21 years later, after building what I did best independently, my son moved back home from Colorado and has joined me 3 years now, and we work as a team. And so I've really had a rebirth since 2017, if you will, because when most people at my age would be thinking about leaving the industry, I feel like we're just beginning. And coupled with that, around that same time is where I came into the realization that I needed to give back more to the community, hence Habitat for Humanity and some of the other charities that we're involved with. So that's the short story. Thank you.
And I was muted. Thank you very much, Terry. Appreciate you sharing. Let's go over to Iris.
Yes, so my husband and I, well, he served for 20 years, and in the 18 years we were married while he was active duty, we moved 12 times. So I've worn everything from retail management hat all the way to working for the Research and Special Programs Office of the Department of Navy. And my husband is the reason I got into real estate. He actually said, I think you've got the relocation down pat. You know how to hunt for houses. He says, give it a whirl. And so I did in my first year. I've been doing this for about 7.5 years. And my first year was Rookie of the Year. And my second year, we PCS'd, which means we moved out of area for a year. So I ran my business remotely, and that gave birth to Military Home Base, or the idea for it. And then ever since, it's been continuous growth year over year. Tampa Bay ended up being our home. He retired here. And, you know, as far as the charitable side, we've always believed in leading with a servant's heart in our house. We do a lot of volunteer work. We don't always advertise what we do. Simply because, especially with our kids volunteering, it was something very personal to them and to us. And that being said, we have done some things that were fairly large with Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Vincent Jackson Charities and such. So Tampa Bay has been very, very good to us, and the real estate industry has allowed us to do a lot in our community.
Thank you, Iris. I appreciate it. And you bring up a great point, and I wanted to bring this up as well. You know, in no way, shape, or form, obviously the topic of today's panel is making a difference in your local community. But that can easily be misconstrued by somebody as, oh, wow, these four ladies just want to be known for like donating money or doing something charity related. And in no way, shape, or form is that the heart or the spirit, of course, behind the panelists that we have on today, nor in the agenda of the topic alone. I mean, I would say most people who donate to charities or want to do something to make a true impact in their community are hopefully not doing it because they want other people to see it, right? That's not the objective in any way. It's because we genuinely have a heart to want to make a difference. But the main spirit behind the topic here today is, you know, pinpointing specific strategies and ways that these four ladies have been able to utilize their business to be able to make a difference in the local community. And I hear with the amount of agents that I interview, and I have the pleasure of connecting with many agents throughout Tampa Bay, it's one of the common things that comes up a lot is either ways that they are already starting to use their business to make an impact locally, or, you know, that's a question that comes up as far as how that they can do that and how they can even make more of a difference in giving back. And my spirit, and I hope, and I believe obviously the goal of all four of you as well, is to be able to just provide some strategies and some examples of things that, you know, have worked for you guys, that, you know, that hopefully you can look at as a way that not only is something that you're proud of, but, you know, has made a real impact in other people's lives in the course of the Tampa Bay community, so that other people can be inspired by that, and want to emulate that and build it their own way. And so I'm glad that you brought that up, Iris. You know, I don't want to ever send the impression that we're just trying to spotlight the fact that you guys donate as if other people don't, or you know, are doing it for the wrong reasons. So appreciate that. And again, appreciate your service as well, of course, everything that you guys have done for our country and to keep us safe. So let's switch over to Angela Duncan, of course. Angela, take it away.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here today. Brief story, you know, you did a lot for our introduction, so thanks, Dawn. But kind of just to touch back, I originally went to college and thought I was going to be a stockbroker on Wall Street, and went through the tech bubble and vastly learned that that definitely is not where my heart is. So 2007, I joined Andrew with the real estate market. Of course, we went through a downturn there, so I went from one bubble to the next. But what I found is my passion is for financial literacy. And so the real estate market really helps me and allows me to do that with people, to be able to help them with their finances without necessarily going through bubbles, hopefully again. So been in real estate about 13 years now, and have really enjoyed building the team with Andrew. We've been through lots of ups and downs, but I feel like the charity aspect is really definitely where my heart is. We did start our foundation about 5 or 6 years ago. And like Iris had said, you know, charity is a personal aspect of our lives, but we did find that getting together with our team, making it public, it really does encourage and inspire other people to be more active in their communities. And really, that's the point. If we can bring more attention to the local charities and get people to either volunteer with their time or with their dollars, then it definitely does great for our community.
Thank you, Angela. Well said. And that, again, is the same exact purpose behind the Making a Difference section that you may have already seen us run in a lot of our magazines that we put out monthly. And some of you have actually been featured in that Making a Difference section already. So I appreciate you bringing that up as well. All right, guys. So the way we'll try to format this is, as we go through these questions, don't feel obligated to, add anything to a particular question. This doesn't mean that all four of you have to chime into every single question, but we wanted to have some sort of organizational flow to how we were going to address these. If you have obviously things that you want to add, then we'll give all of you an opportunity to chime in. And if not, no worries. We'll move on to the next question as we keep going. So the first one that you see there is, why is impacting the local community important to you? And so while we answer that, I want to tie that in as well to one of the other questions, which are what are some of the causes or local organizations that you've partnered with, and why have you chosen those? So we can kind of tie those two things in together, I believe. From a bigger picture, why has it become important for all of you to, have a business that does somehow give back and make a difference to the local community? And then more specifically, what are some of the specific causes that have become important to you, and why have those particular causes been ones that you've chose to focus your time, energy, and even finances to support? So let's open that up, and I'll kind of hop around in a different order. So I'm going to now start with Angela, since she just got to go last. So we'll start with you, Angela.
So your question is why? For me, it is personal. I grew up in a very humble background, so very poor family. So I can remember a lot of charities when I was younger who did really help our family out. And so that to me just had a very lasting impression. So when we talk about who we help now, one of the biggest advocates, I sit on the board for Metropolitan Ministries, and I absolutely love what they do for our community. They believe in giving you a hand up and not a hand out. So really to help encourage you, to help you get back on your feet, to provide you with housing, with funds, with childcare, whatever it is that you need, that's very important to me, because I feel like if we're going to give to local charities, we want to make sure that it empowers our local people to help them get back on their feet too. So that's a big part of, why we do what we do.
All right, and you guys don't have to wait for me. So if you want, I'll unmute you and you can just hop right in. But let's go, Iris. What are your thoughts on that?
So I think for us, we've always kind of we've lived in 18 different areas in the last 20 years, and every area has different needs. And we've always, as a military family, felt like we had to give back to the communities that give to us whenever we settle somewhere. So one of the things we've done is, when I opened Military Home Base, within weeks, we had Hurricane Michael hit. And it hit the Panhandle hard. And we organized, Military Home Base did, just a small donation drive that caught the attention of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Vincent Jackson Charities, Derrick Brook Charities. And it turned out we were able to send 2 tractor trailer trucks, along with 5 additional trailers driven up by military spouses who were volunteering their time, because Tyndall Air Force Base is there. I mean, that whole area, my husband and I drove one of the trucks, and it was just completely flattened, and it was heartbreaking to see. So every area has a need, and I have to say right now, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm leading up the cutting crew for medical masks for Tampa Bay medical workers. We've delivered a little over 9,000 masks at no cost, taking in donated fabric, donated elastic and t-shirt yarn, and that has enabled us to deliver these to the local community. I think the most rewarding part of this has been watching my daughters step in and take lead for themselves in charitable acts. It was really, my daughter adopted a family that was in need, and it just, it really is heartwarming, and it really makes you feel like you did something right, especially when you see somebody else influenced by something that you've done. And there are tons of charities in the area. And I think one of the things I want to make sure that we put out, because we have a lot of newer agents that come in that want to give back, that maybe monetary isn't the way that they're able to do it. You can give of your time. And there's so many opportunities in Tampa Bay to give of your time and really make a difference. So that's kind of where we come from.
Awesome stuff, Iris. Appreciate it. It's always a great idea when you can get your kids involved, hopefully early in their upbringing to realize that it's about giving back in some way, shape, or form. Not everybody has the opportunity to do that, but that's awesome. Jodi, let's go to you.
Well, when I first started in real estate, I would sit down with my clients, and a lot of times, as all of us know, someone once says to me, I want to leave my washer and dryer. I don't want it. Can you please get rid of it for me? And I ended up putting an ad on Facebook and said, hey, free washer and dryer. And I had a family. It was a lovely couple. They had 5 kids. Their husband lost their job. And they came and picked up this washer and dryer that we gave away. And she wrote me a letter and says, you have no idea. I've been hand washing our clothes. This has made a huge difference in my life. And I just want to thank you, Jodi, for doing this. And I said, no, it's not me. The owner and seller has donated this to you. And when I saw the impact that this had on this family, I decided that when people move, they have so much stuff and junk that they see in their house. I would say, stuff that they don't want, that they're just dumping, whether they're throwing it away or just seeing who they can just toss it to. And there's so many families and organizations in need. So what I did is, this had such an impact on me. I started what's called Giving Matters, and it takes normal household goods and donates them to families in need. And that's why I started the Giving Matters initiative. And what I did is I interviewed over 150 nonprofits. And I said, what is the few items that you want that I can have my clients donate? So if someone, I know recently I had a client that had 32 pairs of prescription glasses. The husband and, the older couple died, and I now took over the house. They had 32 pairs of glasses. So in my list, it's called Giving Matters, and it has 32 organizations in which it says, what is the need that you want to donate? So if you have prescription glasses, you can donate it to the Lions Institute for people who need that. So I paired the nonprofit with what people can donate to. So when people are moving, they usually move within 45 days, they can look at this list and say, wow. Another organization is lawn equipment. Some people don't cut their lawns, but the people that do say, hey, I don't want my lawn equipment. I want to get rid of it. What do I do with it? The Adoni Foundation is Men Addicted to Drugs. It employs these men and gives them a job. So if we have lawn equipment that doesn't work, they can use it as parts. If they have lawn equipment that does work, it now employs another person. So I teamed up with 32 organizations so that people have a way of saying, I don't really know how to give back, but I have stuff in my house that I don't want and I want to give. I know I had a couple that their kids were sleeping on the floor. So someone was able to donate a bed. That has such a huge impact. And now those kids can sleep on a bed and it changes their life. So my Giving Matter initiative is simply taking household items that people are moving, and it gives them a way of donating and having an impact on the community. And this is just something from a need that I know all of us as realtors, people are just, I was shocked when I just saw people putting things at a curb and the garbage man picking it up. And I knew that that can go to families and make a difference in the community. And it also affects the sellers who are selling and saying, hey, I'm actually donating this. I know who this is going to, and I know I can make a difference in this manner.
That's awesome.
So I'm super excited about Giving Matters and what it's done for the community. And a lot of your organizations like Habitat for Humanity and all the organizations that you guys have mentioned and are a part of, it was a hard process for me to narrow it down to 32. But it was one of those things that I wanted to help the small mom and pop, smaller organizations that didn't get enough support. I'm just going to list one of my other favorites is people who have blankets or towels or socks, anything used. I love the Blanket of Tampa Bay organization where they give blankets out to the homeless. And I like that my list provides phone numbers, addresses, and emails, and every one of these organizations will come to your house and actually pick it up for free. So it makes it very easy for the consumer. And I don't know, I think it's huge to give back. And part of it is I have a team of 10, and all of my agents have to have a nonprofit that they support and give back, because if you're not giving back, that's what life's about. It's a journey, and it just makes a difference in everything that you do.
Great stuff, Jodi. Appreciate it. And you touched on a couple things there that generated a lot of questions in my head. I'm going to hold on to those questions for right now to let Terry go, and we're gonna dive into in just a minute here. Obviously, as of right now, we're talking about why this has been important to us, and a little bit on what we specifically have gotten involved with and do. And in a second, we're going to touch on how, and I'll elaborate on that in just a minute. But Terry, why don't we have you share as well your background with why has this been important to you, and what are some of the things that you guys have been involved with?
Well, thank you. And also, I have learned so much in this last 10 minutes. So I was uncomfortable coming on this because I don't like to talk in front of groups, but I'm thankful that you've asked me. Our mission right now is very simple. It's Habitat for Humanity. I'm on the steering committee for the Hammers and Heels. And what's that has been able to enable us as a family to do, since we're a small family of 3, is to work together as a family to give back to those who need housing. Habitat came to me as an opportunity from a past client, and it has allowed me to develop friendships with girlfriends. And then my husband and my son have also developed friends with a men's group within the Habitat program. And to see the people when we go to closing for the home has really changed our lives. And Habitat was birthed in the 1980s in the Carter days. And what I think is so fascinating is that our chapter, because of the people that are involved with it, I'm overwhelmed by what Mike Sutton has been able to bring to the Habitat family within our area, which is now Pinellas and Pasco, to build homes for people who are less fortunate. What I learned is that the recipient of the homes, it's not a handout. These people have to work for it. They're on their job, helping us build their home. And it's a life-changing event. It's helped me to be a better person. And as a result, to be a better person to our clients. Because without our clients, in my opinion, we're not successful. So it's been a life-changing event for me.
Thank you, Terry. We've done some work as well with the Habitat for Humanity organization with Tampa Bay with Real Producers platform as a whole. Those of you who might not know, Real Producers is a national franchise with 110 markets across the country. And in a lot of those markets, we've partnered with local Habitat for Humanity organizations to help build homes and stuff, as you're describing. It is definitely a great organization with a great mission that we believe in as well. So impressive, very, very exciting and impressive that there are, there's a lot happening out there to make an impact in the local community. I want to touch on a little bit more of the how. So like I said, we've been talking about why this has been important to us and how you've built your business. What are some specific charities and organizations and that you've been a part of and all that. So I want to touch a little bit on the how do you specifically use your business to impact some of these particular charities, or in some cases, and where I'm getting with this is, sometimes I talk with agents and they want to do something. They have a desire to really want to make a difference, but they're not exactly sure where to start in some cases. Do they just go and volunteer their time personally? Do they create something in their business to try to brand it and tie it into a specific charity? Do they create a Jodi's A-list book like Jodi did and have something that's very formalized and organized the way that Jodi's been able to do? So I'd like to touch on that and maybe create a little bit of clarity for, and not that the way you chose to do it is the end all be all, but how specifically did you get started with it? Was it as simple as just a phone call because you found something that you liked? Or did you have a different thought process on how you were going to integrate your business into truly supporting some of these particular organizations? And then, what did that actually look like? So who'd like to go first on that?
Dawn, I'll go first.
Go ahead, Angela.
Awesome. Well, being that we also, first off, Jodi, your idea is incredible. I just want to ask if you could please share that list. I would love to send that out to clients on your behalf as well. I love that you took the time to put that list together, the A list. So if you wouldn't mind, please sharing. But some ideas that our team does is, because we've got, a good amount of people and we all come from different backgrounds and we all have our own stories, we love getting our team involved in picking charities and things that we do. Some of the examples we've done, because, like with Metro Min, we have done their kitchen. We've gone in and helped prepare meals for the residents that live on campus at Metro. For the military birthday, because our office is right outside of the base here, we have gone and gotten Duncan donuts, and we stand outside with signs saying, "Thank you for your service. We love our military," and we just hand out free donuts in the morning. We've also served lunch to the homeless, so that, the ideas kind of come from our team. And so we give them the opportunity, because if we are going to we work there 5 days, sometimes 7 days a week, we want to give them the opportunity to share their passion with the team, and for us to give back and volunteer our time and our hours as a team to, things that are important for them as well. So that's just kind of some of the ideas that we do together as a team to give back to our community.
Awesome. Good stuff, Angela. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So
Iris.
I think the important thing when I'm going to use this as an example, because when we moved from duty station to duty station, obviously we started over every single time. So I would say first, figure out what you want to do and then see if somebody else is already doing it as far as a charitable act, because maybe you can collaborate with them. If you're already established in the area, your network that you work with every day is a fantastic resource, because something I've learned over years is that people want to give back. It may not necessarily be monetary, it may be of their time or items that they have to donate. People want to get back, they want to get involved, even if it's on the periphery. So finding support for what you're doing, especially if there's a need for what you're doing, is really just a matter of getting the word out and leveraging your network. So I'll give the example of when we started the donation drive with the Hurricane Michael situation, because that actually exploded way larger than we thought. I would say, think about whether you want to be a part of a movement or whether you want to lead a movement, because the time commitment involved and the logistics involved with starting a movement and leading a movement, or leading a charitable act, or a donation drive or whatever, it is extremely time consuming. And if you're doing it by yourself, it may not be something you want to do. Or maybe in advance you need to partner with several other organizations so that you guys can take turns, because at the end of the day, we're all running businesses in addition to what we're doing. So just think critically about the impact on your business from a time and money perspective. What is it going to cost you to do this? And then figure out a way to kind of mitigate that or share that burden. Because you can do a lot of good, not necessarily being the leader or the start of an organization. I love what Jodi has compiled. I mean, she's already done this. Don't recreate the wheel. Reach out to Jodi. Jodi, we would love to send that out on your behalf, like Angela said. I mean, this is about giving back to our communities. And if somebody's already doing something, there's no shame in supporting them and being vocal about supporting them and what they're doing.
Good stuff, Iris. Appreciate it. That is a big question that you bring up too, is like, do I start my own? Do I partner with one that is already existing? What's the best way to go about it? And, it's not like most agents have a lot of free time on their hands. At the end of the day, it's a pretty intense business, as we all know. And so that definitely is something they have to weigh. And I think in some ways you're much better off partnering with an existing organization where you can kind of play your role and make an impact, than committing to doing something on your own and not being able to see it through, and not be able to provide that same level of support potentially. But then again, somebody who starts one on their own, that can be a game-changing thing. It can be a life-changing impact if they're able to get the traction that they want. So it obviously can work either way. Jodi, let's hop over to you.
For me, I definitely partnered with others. I felt like I can be more supportive and have a bigger impact by supporting and making these small nonprofits really succeed. But a good example, you mentioned in the very beginning, how do you decide what you want to get involved with? And I know when someone joins my team, everyone has a story and a life trial and something they've gone through in life that they're passionate about. Whether someone went through domestic violence or someone wants to foster animals, I know that when someone joins my team, I said to them, what is your passion? What do you love? What do you want to give back? What has the impacted you? And so I get to their story, that's something that you can feel it in your gut and know that this means something to you. So that's what I've done with my team members who join with me. And I said, hey, what means something to you? So I have a team member who, Chuck Morton, who's on my team. He has a passion for animals. He fosters animals. So he loves it. So he's a part of the community of giving back, saving animals, teaching others how to do it. And that's his passion. So we have someone on the Ronald McDonald, someone on Habitat for Humanity, all different kinds of organizations. And the thing about what Terry is doing, Terry's a part of the board of the Habitat for Humanity. But it's so funny how all of us are kind of intertwined and connected to everyone's organization. So I give back to Habitat for Humanity that is the only organization that I know of in the Tampa Bay area that when you donate, they take open paint cans, nails, anything, any kind of supply that is open. Most people, you can't dispose of that kind of stuff. So when we leave a house and people leave all that junk in the garage, that is the only organization that wants used open cans of paint. They want nails. They want any kind of extra wood that you have. So it's funny how Terry's involved in the supporting of it, the building, the families, and behind the scenes, I'm involved in the donating to that organization. So we all come together to support organizations, and I think that's how you make an impact. But for someone new who's saying, what do I get involved in? You have to look at your life circumstance and say what means. If it's kids, if it's dress for success, if it's all different kinds of things, you can find a way to be involved. And I think no one can join my team unless you have something that you're passionate about and believe in. Life's too short to say, to be independent and say, I don't do this. You have to give back. It changes your life more than even the organization itself.
There's an old quote that I don't know off the top of my head who gets credit for it, but it goes something to the effect of when we're on our, deathbeds, we're not going to care as much about what we got as much as what we gave. And that's really the spirit behind a lot of this conversation. So good stuff, Jodi. I appreciate it. And I think it makes a lot of sense, obviously, for anybody to kind of figure out, tap into whatever they're passionate about. Most of us have something that tugs at the heartstrings that would probably just allow us to be more energetic and more excited to make an impact in. So that's a great point. Terry, let's go over to you, my friend. Do you have anything you want to add to this one?
Just to play off what Jodi, Angela, and Iris have already spoken about, I think those of us, particularly when we're new in the industry, we get overwhelmed by everything that we're required to do and, the 10 hats that we're trying to wear at any given time. And oftentimes we can overthink about what it is we need to do in order to make a difference. So like Jodi said, Angela and Iris, just focus on one thing. I mean, you can learn something from your kids, from the schools, you know, just social media, and pick that one thing. Don't overthink it, and go for it, because like the 4 of us are doing, it just makes a difference, and ultimately it comes back to help yourself and ultimately the client.
Amen. No doubt about it. And I think it makes the business a lot more fun, doesn't it? When it's not just about the dollars and cents all the time, but you really feel like you're building something that is changing people's lives, or at least impacting people's lives in a positive manner. I want to switch gears a little bit, because a couple of you mentioned that there is a balance, of course, between none of us, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe any of you started your career in real estate to have a nonprofit organization, right? You probably have built your business as a profitable organization and have found ways to integrate it with nonprofits to give back and to make a difference. But I still want to touch a little bit on some of this call on, some business principles that tie into this. And so, in one of the questions that I threw out there was the concept of marketing, because I was curious if any of you have done this at all in your marketing philosophies with integrating the fact that you are making a difference locally with specific causes or charities, or maybe it's just as simple as like wanting to give back in general to the local community. I know, all you have to do is go on social media right now during this whole COVID-19 thing, and the whole concept of support local is very big right now. Thankfully, it's something that a lot of people that's resonating with a lot of people, to want to help local business owners and make a difference on a local side. So I wanted to talk a little bit about just like your philosophies when it comes to marketing, and whether you have found ways to tie that into supporting local. Has that worked for you? Has that not even been something you've ever done? How would you kind of categorize whether or not your marketing philosophies have been targeted on a local level? And maybe it's as simple as just farming a certain area, and that's been your marketing approach, and that's worked really well for you. So we can touch on that as well for somebody who maybe is still kind of figuring out like how to. Maybe they're still trying to figure out, maybe they're newer in real estate and they're not exactly what area they want to farm. And if they have an idea of what area they want to farm, like, how do I do it? Like, what's the best way to really start tapping in to this local community? So Terry, I'm going to start with you if you have anything, because I don't want you to go last. So we got to keep the rotation flowing.
Okay.
So,
well,
Terry,
so yes, we do use Habitat specifically. There, like Iris said, there's other charities that we're involved in. And we're thankful for that, but I'm going to key on Habitat for now. We are very big on our CRM, and we like to keep our clients involved in what we do, and indirectly or directly, we like to involve our clients as well. So we just had a charity event, February 27th. Thankfully, it wasn't March 27th. Of this year, we worked with a major company, and it was a triangle of us. It was Habitat, this other vendor, and ourselves. We sent out invitations, and it was strictly to donate to Habitat for Humanity, and also to get people to sign up for the build, and also to be a part of the committees. And so we invited all of our clients and some of our other vendors, and it made me feel good to do it. It takes a lot of time, a lot of scheduling. Like Jodi said, she's very organized. You've got to be totally organized to keep it together and still do your job. And but it was very rewarding. And then in conjunction with that, we did use it on our social media advertising.
Awesome. Good stuff. So is this an annual event, Terry, or was this the first time you've done this?
It was the first time that my son and I have done something like this with Habitat. We'd like to have it as a twice a year event, And we've already identified the other company that we want to partner with, and which we refer a lot of business with, so they allow us to use their facility. So it's a lot of fun. It just breaks up what we do in our business, and it's a lot of fun. The
Very
more the
cool.
merrier.
Yeah, I think it's very smart. And it also, of course, could be a great way to get quality, leads for the business, because you would hope that the people that would be excited to donate and be a part of what you're doing on the habitat side would also be the type of clientele that you'd want to represent on the real estate side. I would think. So you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that would be a good fit there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Jodi.
Specifically.
Oh, sorry, Terry, what was that? I cut you off.
Well, it just allows us, I mean, let's face it, to keep in touch with our clients is key. And that was just one idea that we had. And it was successful. You invite 400, you get 80. It's all good. It's all about the process of keeping in touch, letting people know you're thinking about them. At the same time, you're giving back, and yet you're helping another business owner. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love it. I love the idea. So we have the idea of creating an event program and tie that into a nonprofit is a great way to brand yourself and obviously help support a cause at the same time. With Real Producers, just as an example of that, we had an event in January of this year, a casino night. I know Jodi was there for that. It was at a beautiful home in Shore Acres, and we partnered with Hope Children's Home on that event. And we had a couple $1,000s that we were able to raise, nothing huge, but it made an impact. I actually got a chance to go to their campus. They have a beautiful campus over in the Citrus Park area in Tampa. They do some great work for children that were homeless and provide a safe environment for them to go to school and obviously provide shelter and food and lodging and all that stuff. And it's a Christian organization that we were able to donate and give a check to because of that event that we tied it into for our casino night there. So that was great. It was just one example. We hope to do that on every one of our events moving forward with Tampa Bay Real Producers as well. So I love that idea, Terry. Jodi, let's go to you.
So what I am a big believer on supporting other local businesses, no matter what the field is. So I'm going to go back to my story of when I started in real estate. I would sit down with the client at the listing appointment, and I noticed that my clients were saying to me, Jodi, I need a home inspector, I need a handyman, I need a roofer, I need these things. So I would spend the time writing these things out. And I said to myself, this is not time effective. I'm all about time management again. So I started putting a list together of saying, hey, here's your home inspectors, here's handyman. And I gave 3 of them to choose from. And as I started doing this list grew, because now people say, hey, I need an attorney, I need this, and I need this. So what I did is I put together, which is called Jodi's A-List. And as you can see, it's a kind of a huge book, but I want to support local businesses. And it goes from everything from attorneys, plumbers, electricians. I have colonics, I have hairdressers. And this list is really my list. It's people that I love, people who I use and who I believe in. It's not anything that every single service provider in there, and we all have our own list that we have in our Rolodex, but I wanted to give this list out because for me, it was just simply a time management thing. So if someone asked me, I need this, I would go in my book on my listing appointment, open it up, circle it and say, hey, here's a handyman, here's a plumber, here's an electrician. And for me, it was just saving me time. But I was really specific in making sure I'm supporting small local businesses, not chains. So I wanted this to help the mom and pops, the owners who went out there and did the service themselves. I know recently me and Terry did a deal and I'm like, you have to meet Peter, my handyman is amazing. So it's one of those things that I believe that you should share. And then when this book came out, a new book comes out every other year. And then I started adding local restaurants. And I said, these are my favorite. And I have it in 25 different categories, from your favorite date night, your favorite Korean, Chinese. it is not what's popular, it's what I love. So people can kind of look at it and go, hey, that's neat. And then every year I come up with a new section. So this section is my top 39 things to do with your kids. So this book is has restaurants, it has my charities, it has my favorite things to do with your kids. There's times that you're in the summer. I mean, I have 4 kids. So people are like, what do we do? We've been to Busch Gardens, we've been to this, you know, and I just list, I give the name and the number, the addresses, what times are open, and it gives people a resource. So what I'm trying to do is support local businesses and give back. And I promote these people, I highlight them as business of the week. And none of this has come as like a marketing strategy to get business. It's simply saying, it was a time convenience for me. I believe in you. I have the most amazing carpet cleaner guy. It is so cheap, but all of us have used a carpet cleaner. There's stains in the carpet, you need it done. My guy knows, anyone who's on my list knows foot pads go on when you enter a house. You follow up with a service call the next day. But I have people every day trying to get on this list, and I give roughly 50 referrals out a week, roughly. So instead of people calling me and go, hey, I need this, they can reference the book and know, I believe in these people are fantastic. And it gives them a resource to say, I can actually support local, small mom and pop businesses. So I just believe in giving back in every area. And that's even to the service providers that we use on a day-to-day basis. So.
Great stuff, Jodi. Appreciate it. I mean, I think the mentality of most people who are just moving into an area, right, when they're hooking up with a realtor and they're just bought a home in a community and they're trying to just get acclimated to a neighborhood, the fact that Jodi was able to take that time and try to create like an organized list. Some of you know that we actually have a product within our within our company of products. We call it Be Local, which is basically what Jodi has done, you know, on a local level, is to create a guide for new homeowners when they first move into an area of all the best local restaurants and the places to use and all that kind of thing. And Jodi, you know, taking that time to be able to create that, I think it really adds an immense amount of value to just the relationships that she's bringing to the table with those new homeowners and buyers. And it doesn't even sound like these aren't even just, you know, like her buyers and sellers. She's willing to give this list to anybody, I believe, who wants it and would benefit.
Anybody, yes. Anybody can email me or text me or go on my face. This book is online, so you can flip through it as a flip book. And if you want a hard copy, just text me your address and I'll send it out to you.
Very cool. Where would they find it online, Jodi?
It's www.jodieavery.com, and it's under the A-List book.
Awesome.
So it is a flip book there, but if you want a hard copy to have and look and flip through, this is my only marketing. This is the only thing. I don't do any flyers. I don't do postcards. I don't do anything. This is it. And I actually support this book 100%. No one pays to be in the book. They can't pay to be in it. People have tried to bribe me to be in it. And actually people have asked to take me off because they've gotten so much business. So it's one of those things that I believe in these people, they believe in me, and I love their service.
That's awesome. Good stuff, Jodi. Appreciate it. Iris, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, so going back to what you said about selecting your farm area, particularly for newer agents or agents that are new to our market, I will say that you should go with what you know. So in my case, I know the military lifestyle. So my market is, and my farm area, are military PCSs. Those coming in, those going out, and making sure that what services I offer meet their needs. And so as far as tying in charitable with that, we tend to select charities that are military centric or that fulfill a need. So I'm going to give 2 examples. And these are definitely things you guys should think about when you're trying to decide how to get involved. The American Heart Association every year does Heart Walk. So Heart Walk is massive. It's at Raymond James Stadium. And you can get t-shirts and create a team. We have actually set it up where we did a tutu making party with donated tutu material. And we had a group of about 20 to 25 women sitting around making tutus. We piggybacked that with somebody that had already built a team, and we added to that team. So the result was we made a huge impact. Holly Vega, she's the Military Spouse of the Year for 2019, and she works for Military Home Base. She led the charge on that because of her passion and her dedication to Military Hearts Matter. So that's one, if you want to go large scale, something that's already been organized. The other thing we did is on Giving Tuesday, again, a movement already created, already has hashtags, and you can add your own hashtags to that. We connected with a local nonprofit called Scarlet Sunshine. And if you guys have never heard of Scarlet's story, I highly recommend you look it up online. Scarlet was the young daughter of a Marine corpsman who passed away unexpectedly in her mother's arms, literally in an ambulance. And so her favorite song was "You Are My Sunshine." And so Scarlett's mother has basically dedicated her time to creating Scarlet Sunshine nonprofit, where they bring sunshine to the lives of strangers. So we got a ton of roses donated by Walmart. And again, Holly led the charge on this because she's Marine Corps and she knew Scarlett's mom, or she knows Scarlett's mom. And we went to rest homes, which, just so you guys know, our local retirement homes are largely forgotten. So by the local community. So we went there and handed out roses, and there were a lot of tears. There was a lot of happiness. We had Azzy Brooks perform, and she sang "You Are My Sunshine," and it was so sweet because the residents joined in, and because they related to the song. And so it was a very feel-good moment that cost nothing but time, and it directly related to our farm area. So when you're putting the word out about doing this, we rely heavily on social media. Our Instagram, primarily Facebook. We do a lot of Facebook Lives. We do a lot of photos, and we're not so good with the hashtagging as we could be. So that's an area of improvement that we're working on. But these are ways for you to garner participation, join in a larger movement, and that larger movement already has done a lot of the advertising for you. So you can tie in to what they're doing. Hey, we have a team getting ready for Heart Walk. Come sign up for your t-shirt. Let's walk together. And the cost there, of course, would be the t-shirts, or you can have them donated or partner with an organization willing to print them for you.
Great stuff. Yeah, I love the idea of go with what you know, right? I mean, again,
Mm-hmm.
tying into that passion and how that's going to allow you to probably make a bigger impact if it's something that you know you want to follow through with. But some great examples there, Iris. I appreciate that. Angela, let's hop over to you. Do you have anything you want to add on this one?
Yes, definitely. Going back to Iris's point, I think I personally learned that I am definitely more of a supporter than a leader to some of the charitable efforts that we do. So talking about like using your current platforms of where you're already marketing to. For us personally, that's definitely, more of a mass media. So if we talk about like radio, we do have a radio show that we host every Sunday morning, and using that platform to help promote local charities, to bring on people from like Habitat and MetroMin, the YMCA. Every quarter we have at least one new charity that's local here, and we feature them on the radio show so that they can tell their story, talk about, what their needs are, what initiatives are they working on, and then we can promote them and direct, those listeners directly to that charity to help out. Another thing that we do, not this year, thanks for COVID-19, but we do an annual client appreciation. At Emily, we allow our clients, past clients, current clients, to come in and, do ice skating at Emily. It's a completely free event for our clients. The only thing we ask for them to do is to bring either an unwrapped, unused toy, or, we might be doing a canned food drive for them to attend. We just ask that they bring in some type of donation so that we can support Metropolitan Ministries. And if I could do a quick plug, I know that they are currently closed, but Donation, which is located in Carrollwood, it is in the same little shopping plaza as Noble Crust. We helped to fund the build out for that location. And what Metro does with that location is they take people who maybe need some job experience or they need to learn a trade. They give them an opportunity to have a job and get some income for their families. And then hopefully they'll be able to place them with a local restaurant here in the Tampa Bay area to support their families. So hopefully when that opens back up, if you guys could go check it out, it definitely helps a local charity as well. But yeah, just, finding ways to support our local charity through already the marketing efforts that we have. And again, going back to, we don't make everything public that we do, but we do like to share photos, especially on social media, so that we can bring awareness to those charities and really to hopefully encourage, inspire other people to find something that's passionate for them and then go out and help our local charities as well.
Great stuff, Angela. Appreciate it. We flushed out a couple great ideas there with, Terry talking about utilizing events, Jodi, of course, with her A-list book and being able to create like a localized focus of the small local businesses. Iris going with what you know and finding her niche in the military and then tapping into a lot of different platforms revolving around that idea and that niche. And then you heard Angela talk about radio and being able to incorporate a radio show and how that's been able to be utilized to spotlight more people and integrate her brand and all of their brands into that fold. So great ideas, good stuff. I hope that provides some value for some people out there to give them a little bit of clarity. I did want to ask you, and we've touched on this maybe a little bit so far, but is there anything tangible that you can think of as far as like specific results that you can point to that you feel like this approach has benefited as far as your business? I don't know if there was, before we started doing X, we were, this is the type of business we had, and we really started making some pivots and adjustments and focus areas, and then we found that the business really took off afterwards. Is there anything specific like that you can point to or talk about, or even from a standpoint of just results for a particular cause? Like maybe there's something that is easier for you to talk about that says, because we started doing this, this is what we saw that started to happen. So we've touched on this a little bit, but I did want to throw it out there. Is there anybody who has anything specific like that you can point out?
Well, for Tillung, Tampa Bay, Coldwell Banker, I think all of us can agree that everything we try always has indirect results. So I'm not sure that you can quantify those actual results. But for me and my family and my business, it's all about how it makes us feel, because if we feel good about what we're doing, then it just comes across within our business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You're going to be a lot more excited to be a part of a business that you're proud to be a part of, right? Anybody else have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, and just making sure, get your team involved, whether you have a real estate team or your real estate company, your vendor partners, like you were saying earlier, Dawn, we all want to give, but sometimes we just don't know where to start. And some of us aren't great at putting together initiatives or leading initiatives. So, make sure you're inviting your team in your sphere of influence, because they most likely want to be involved. And it's just a matter of asking them. And so I feel like when you get your team involved, that camaraderie, that sense of belonging, it really does great for our company, because I feel like people want to be here and they enjoy giving back. So why not give them the opportunity to do so?
Yeah, I love it. I would think that it would also attract the type of people that you'd want to be a part of your team. Absolutely. That mindset as well. People would be attracted to trying to not only make money, but be a part of a brand that is starting to be known as making an impact on a local basis. So we all care about that as well. Feel free to jump in if you have anything. I don't want to cut you off, but Jodi or Iris, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, in my experience, people are more likely to get involved if there's something tangible rather than asking for a monetary donation. With the rise of GoFundMe, and especially right now with so many people out of work, money is tight for a lot of people, but it doesn't mean they don't want to get involved. So I found that if you can, so for example, the cutting crew that I'm leading for masks for medical workers, all we're asking people to do if they want to volunteer is cut fabric. That's it. We give them the dimensions, they cut the fabric, we pick it up, it's all for to pick up, and we assemble the kits. The kits go to sewers, and the sewists actually deliver the masks, and then drivers deliver them to the medical workers that have put in requests. And I think by doing that, we've had a large number of people get involved. They're at home. This is a way they can give back and support their community. They want to do it. And the excitement when they find out how many we've been able to deliver. I mean, we've delivered to Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital, thousands of masks. St. Joe's, we delivered to the COVID response unit in Wesley Chapel. We've delivered to retirement communities. Like, this is a way for people to get involved that costs them nothing, but that fulfills a need within our community. And I think right now, that's the direction that we're comfortable going. We're comfortable promoting and encouraging people to get involved with. And then once life opens up and starts to go back to normal, people show up. I mean, when we did the donation drive for Hurricane Michael, people showed up I mean, 2 tractor trailer trucks and 5 additional trailers. That was we didn't expect to lead that one, but we're so glad we got the opportunity to do it. But it's not always about the money. It's about the time. And sometimes it's just having people show up. They want to be there.
That's awesome. Appreciate that. Jodi, do you want to add anything?
I do. I agree with Irish completely on what she said. My business, 100% from day one, has been about relationships. If someone asks me how many closings I have, how much I make, I have no idea. I don't know how many millions. I know nothing. I go talk to someone who knows that. But my whole business is based on relationships. I love my clients. I love finding about their lives. I like meeting realtors. I like finding out about my business and having a heart that cares. I cannot take that out of myself. I just exude, like, I want to like have lunch and coffee with all of you. Like, I'm so impressed and I want to hear about more of what you're doing, but that's who I am. And I have to embrace the quality of who I am. And from that, business has come from my heart's desire to care. I know that when I get people on my team, I interview them, they can have the most amazing resume, but I can't teach someone to care. I have tried to say, can you pretend you care? You know, you have to care and know that how can I support someone in every aspect of selling a house, buying a house is not easy and it's stressful. I want to come alongside of my clients and know that, hey, Jodi was there. She gave 110%. She is behind me. And I think that's where our business, we're in this, it's long hours, it's hard. We have exciting, I think I'll use the word exciting clients. And we have to walk alongside of them and say, I'm here for you. You know, if you're stressed, that would be normal. So I think relationships, especially in today with COVID, people need to know that you care, that you're there for them. You will do whatever it takes, and walking alongside of them. So I agree with Iris 100%. It's not about the money. It's life. It's about being alongside of people. And I love what I do. So thank you, John, for having me. And I'm so honored to be with all of you three. And I look to having coffee one day with you guys.
We have about 6 minutes left, gang. So what I was going to throw out was, if for any of you in the audience, by the way, if I was going to try to have a minute or two of Q&A, we might have time for 1 or 2 good questions. So if you have a question and you want to throw it in the chat box, I can try to pick out a couple of questions. If you have something you'd like to ask any of the panelists, go ahead and throw it in the chat box and I'll try to call it out. I did want to ask you guys, though, for the time we have left, are there any ways that you find that work well for you to, just stay educated on things that are happening locally, staying educated or even connected on the local things that are going on in the community? What do you find to best work for you that you think is important to share? We'll start with Angela this time.
Sure. I do my best to stay off news, and I limit my time on social media so I don't get a lot of local updates. I actually get a lot of that from our team. I love our team. They've got lots of different backgrounds and viewpoints. So if there's something interesting going on in our local news, I definitely will hear it from our team. And then as far as like education, Andrew and I now are at a point where we like to go to conferences outside of real estate and insurance. You know, there's so much technology and other things that people are doing in this world. And I think we learn a lot from going outside of our industry and kind of bringing that back to the team so that we can educate them too, because I do feel like that's, you know, our purpose as being the leaders of the team is to make sure the team is educated, but they give so much back more to us too. I mean, it's incredible the stories that I hear just walking through the halls at the office. So they definitely keep me updated on what's going on.
Very cool. Terry, how about you?
Well, within the Coldwell Banker brand, particularly during COVID environment, we have been inundated with training, Zooms. I don't know how, and I do, if I have time, I've been listening to Zoom presentations like this, and I sleep little and work a lot, so I'm forever trying to read as much as I can. That would be through the Tampa Bay Business Journal, even the Tampa Bay Times, listening to my clients, talking on the phone. I'm like a sponge. I like to learn as much as I can. I have my son and I and my marketing gal and our transaction manager. So if they have anything to help me with insofar as what's going on in the industry or that might affect our business and how we give back, then I want to know about it.
Yeah, I'm sure with all of us can say that there's at times we've had some Zoom fatigue over this last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys taking the time to be here today, because I know that who knows how many times you've been asked to be on Zoom over the last couple of weeks. So Iris, how about you?
So I kind of look at education as twofold, well, threefold really. So I want to know what's going on in my community, and part of that means listening. I'm listening to the needs of my community. I'm listening to where the gaps are. I'm listening to the successes so I know what works. And I think that is key to our business, is listening, not just learning from industry experts. And like Angela, I've always attended conferences and trainings that really had nothing to do with real estate, but you can apply a lot of those to our industry, and it enables you to innovate in a way that maybe you wouldn't have otherwise. So I would say that, and then I don't really watch the news. I find the news tends to be just not what I'm looking for as far as education goes.
If you want to be depressed, that's the way to do it, right?
Yeah, depression, sensationalism, not interested. I would much rather go with humor and talking to my peer group and talking to my farm area. I will say it's important, especially if you're farming, to have your ear on the ground as to what's happening in the community that you're farming. Be active in groups, and they don't even have to be local groups. You can go find out what areas are feeding into the Tampa Bay area and listen to groups there so you know what's coming your way. Because I find that social media tends to get us the data, and probably some not so accurate data sometimes, but they tend to get us the data on our communities more quickly than maybe the news does, or maybe even other industry experts. So that's my tip.
Good stuff. Yeah. And nowadays, you know, one of the things that I do think that could be helpful is utilizing Facebook groups. There's so many different Facebook groups out there nowadays that you can get a lot of valuable information. You can really get a nice kind of sense and a pulse of whatever community you're fired up about. If you're a big fan of underwater basket weaving, you'll find a Facebook group that talks about underwater basket weaving. So everything is there for you. Jodi, how about you?
Well, I would say that education is extremely important. I agree with Iris, actually everyone. I don't watch any news, and it's been amazing. So it just puts you in a good frame of mind. I do know a little bit of what's going on, but no, I think you should actually time management your who's watching. And I'd have to say, surrounding yourselves, like to be with Terry, Iris, and Angela, I think iron sharpens iron. And surrounding yourself about people who are successful, who are doing well, who are giving back in the community. that's who you need to be around. And I think what you're putting yourself around is huge. So I think Zoom calls, there's so many of them. I think that's something that has to be limited, or else you can just spend hours looking at a screen talking. I think you have to budget your time, surround yourself around strong people, and I think that's critical. Iron sharpens iron is my motto, and surrounding yourself with great people and like you three is amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies. One of the phrases that I stole from Tony Robbins a while back is that proximity is power. And so your ability to connect with people that are in your social group, that obviously speaks a lot about your mindset and what you're all about. So we are out of time. I'm looking through the chat group, and there's just a lot of wonderful comments. I think Angela has a lot of fans out there. There's a lot of love Angela, woo Angela, hooray Angela. Couple gorgeous comments in there. So you guys are all rocking the house. Everyone is very, a couple people say they're inspired, love some of your ideas. A couple of links to favorite music, by the way, is in there. So great stuff. I appreciate your time. We know that all of our time is valuable, and to carve out what you did today, I hope made a big impact for a lot of people. This is recorded and will be up on our Tampa Bay Real Producers Facebook page, as well as our private group, which is called Top 500 Realtors in Tampa Bay, which I'll end by saying that that is the spirit behind the idea of Real Producers and the Top 500 group on Facebook, is that proximity is power, and we want to allow top producers to learn from each other, to share ideas, knowing that so much of your business is co-op opportunities with other top producers anyway. And that's the spirit behind what we do with Tampa Bay Real Producers. So thank you again, ladies. I really appreciate your time.
Thank
You guys
you.
have an amazing week. God bless. And thanks again.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, John.